What's going on, Ravens fans? Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. We got an awesome video prepared for you guys. We're going to dive into a couple of quotes from former players of Jesse Minter that I promise you will love to hear. And then after that, back half of today's show, we'll dive into Wednesday's live mailbag from our Ravens Rundown live show on Wednesday evening. Got a lot of questions we got to get into. Cannot wait to dip into the mailbag. When it comes to Jesse Minter, right, I get it. We're a few days removed from his hiring. And it feels like there are some mixed emotions. There's a lot of people that are excited about it. There's a lot of people that feel like it was a downgrade from John Harbaugh. And there's a lot of people that are just kind of like, like he's not even close to the top of the guys I wanted. Look, I, for one, think it was a home run. I think finally you have a guy in the building that has a schematical X's and O's advantage over other coaches in the National Football League. John Harbaugh was a great leader. He was a great culture guy. But X's and O's wise, there were probably 30 coaches around the league that could coach circles around him. I've been hearing over the past 48 hours or so the same complaints about Jesse Minter from the same people all over social media, in my own comment sections, saying things like, look, this was a boring hire for the Baltimore Ravens, right? Not something super excited. A lot of people are upset that he's a Harbaugh guy, even though he didn't learn anything schematically from John Harbaugh when it comes to defense, even though that a lot of people wanted Mike Macdonald, who technically was a Harbaugh guy as well. I've also heard people say he's not a strong leader, which I could not disagree more with. But you know what matters more than my thoughts on Jesse Minter? How about Jauan Jennings, a guy who Jesse Minter coached, a guy who Jesse Minter loved in Los Angeles over the past 2 seasons? He's quoted as saying he's that guy. He's an alpha. The guys play hard for him, and I just feel like he's that dude. Another former player of Jesse Minter. I can't think of a more qualified head coach. I'm excited to see what he does. Any team, any organization would be lucky to have him. He's taught me a whole bunch. I've been grateful for him. Alex Glaze tweeted this out on social media. Text I got from one of Jesse Minter's former players. Coach Minter was one of the more brilliant minds in football. He's a fiery guy and an all-around players coach. And how about a guy you probably value the opinion of a ton, Eric Weddle? He will have the same impact as Mike M. in Seattle. Mark my words. Great hire. Look, it's not common. I don't want to say not common, but it doesn't happen every single time. These players having this big of an outpour for a coach that's leaving them. And you might disagree with me. I got a great little Uno reverse card. If you do disagree with me, how about Zach Orr? Have you heard any single Baltimore Ravens player on social media over the last month or so saying, man, Zach Orr is the, let's look at what Jauan James said. Zach Orr is that guy. The guys play hard for him. How about Elijah Molden? I can't think of a more qualified coach. Is anybody saying that about Zach Orr? He's taught me a whole bunch. I've been grateful for him. Any organization will be lucky to have him because I've heard crickets, ladies and gentlemen. Jesse Minter is a defensive mastermind. People calling him the Mike Macdonald 2.0. When in reality, it's a chance they're just 1A, 1B. He's a player's coach, which is really important. He's a personable teacher. I would encourage every single one of you guys, after you're done watching this video, go Google him mic'd up at a Chargers practice. The way he's coaching up these guys one-on-one is really special. He's a leader, and he's a head coach in the National Football League. I'm not saying that because he literally just got hired as a head coach in the National Football League 2 days ago. I'm saying that because he's built. He's wired as a head coach in the National Football League. Not a lot of guys are. He's one of them. It's the reason Jim Harbaugh said at his press conference about a month ago, he checks every box. Are you excited about Jesse Minter? If you are, hit that thumbs up button, like today's video, and we'll get into today's mailbag. The first question we're going to get started with is rflock_8. Do you think the Ravens need another wide receiver under 6 foot? Great question. They got a lot of those right now on the roster. I don't think they need another wide receiver under 6 foot because they've got a good bit of those already. But I don't think I would be upset if they somehow got another one. Like we talked about or we will talk about Mekhi Lemon tomorrow. If Mekhi Lemon ended up falling to them at 14 and they just could not pass him up, he's 5'11". I don't think that would be that bad of a selection. I think you have bigger needs than Mekhi Lemon on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. I would prefer a wide receiver like a Jordan Tyson, who's like 6'2", or a Carnell Tate, who's 6'3". I'd prefer bigger wide receivers, either through the draft or free agency, but I don't think that they're like no more wide receivers under 6 foot. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Diaz, 1259, with Minter being a top candidate, do you think there's a chance of an Oweh reunion is possible? At the point of recording this video, Jesse Minter is most likely going to be the Ravens' next head coach. He is not officially the Ravens' next head coach yet. By the time you're watching this, he very well could be. I actually do think it's possible, funny enough. I don't think it's probable, but I think there's a chance. And if you look at what Jesse Minter was able to bring out of Odafe Oweh in their time together in Los Angeles, it was incredibly impressive. Like, compared to what he was doing in Baltimore, when they shipped him off, I was like, that's fine. I wanted to see something out of Odafe Oweh. He didn't show me in a contract year. So I was like, fine, get him out of here. Get a Loie Gilman in here. Get a better draft pick. And then he goes to Los Angeles and he, dominates. 7.5 sacks in 12 games. He had 3 sacks and 2 forced fumbles in their one playoff game. Really, really impressive. Up next, Mr. Reliable. Should the Ravens sign Trey Hendrickson? Good question. Trey Hendrickson is a free agent, for those of you who do not know. He did not play a lot in 2025 because he was dealing with some back injuries. If you would have asked me this a year ago, I would have said yes, a million times yes. But you asking me right now, I don't think so. Even though I know this team has needs at the edge rusher spot on the defensive line, I just don't really have much interest in signing a guy who's going to be decently expensive, who's old, and was just dealing with back issues. I don't think that's the best course of action, if you get what I'm saying. Should the Ravens sign Trey Hendrickson? Give me a yes or a no down below in the comment section. If it's for a decent price, I'd be interested. But if it's for the price that I think it's going to be for, a little bit more expensive than I'd be willing to pay, then I'm going to give them a no. Something you should give a yes is our friends over at Ethos. As you know, my wife Kennedy and I got married a year and a half ago. I imagine we'll buy a house and start having kids sometime soon. And if something were to happen to me, the last thing I want the people I love to worry about is being able to pay the bills. So I trust Ethos to keep them protected. After watching someone close to me go through loss, I saw how quickly grief can turn into financial stress. That experience changed how I think about protecting my family. Life insurance isn't about expecting the worst, but it's about making sure the people you love are supported no matter what. That's why I recommend life insurance through Ethos. Ethos makes getting life insurance fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. Of course, application times may vary. As of March 2025, Business Insider named Ethos the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. And if you don't believe me, well, hear this. Ethos has 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 3,000 reviews. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos now by going to ethos.com/NFL Daily. In as little as 10 minutes, you can get your free quote and up to $3 million in coverage at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times and rates may vary. Christian Malley coming in with a €5 super chat. What if someone becomes head coach of the Ravens that you did not have on your list? Well, if someone becomes the head coach, again, this is being filmed before, this is being filmed on Wednesday. So if they make a hire of Jesse Minter in the next couple of days or somebody else, obviously this is a different question. But, look, I would be bummed, frankly. If it's one of those bottom 4 guys, like a Jim Schwartz, Clint, or Cliff Kingsbury, a Matt Nagy, Darren Rizzi. If it's one of those guys, I'm not going to lie to you, Christian, I'd be pretty bummed. Scott's Channel 572. Does Nate Scheelhaase for OC make sense with the speculation of Minter for head coach? Yes, it does. I think it makes sense because Scheelhaase right now, first off, I believe Baltimore was incredibly impressed with him. Second off, he's not calling plays. He's under Sean McVay. That's what Sean McVay does. He's the play caller. Always has been, always will be. So I would not be surprised to see Scheelhaase take another offensive coordinator job because he could have the opportunity to prove himself as a play caller. Like if he's already getting head coach interviews and he's not even calling plays, really all he has to do if he doesn't land one of these head coaching jobs, which I don't think he will, all he has to do is get that on his resume and boom, we're off to the races. If he does a good job at it, all of a sudden he's a top candidate. Where's the better chance to do a good job to be a play caller on offense than with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry? Austin Majan, as a Giants fan, should be excited about Todd Monken if he becomes the OC. Yeah, I do think you should be excited. Is he perfect? No, Austin, he's not. There were times where there were some head-scratching personnel decisions. Sometimes where Derrick Henry wasn't on the field, felt like he should be on the field. But like overall, when it comes to play callers in the National Football League, Todd Monken had a really good couple of years in Baltimore. Like what he was able to do with Lamar Jackson was really, really impressive. And, it'll be great with Jackson. Colin says, what do you think about signing Jauan Jennings in free agency? Well, Colin, if you don't know, I am a Tennessee Volunteers alum. Jauan Jennings was like the only thing I had to look forward to for Tennessee's football team my freshman year, 2019. First game of the year, we lost to Georgia State. Second game of the year, we lost to BYU. We sucked, but we had Jauan, and Jauan rocked. And he was a dog, and he made plays, and he was never the fastest on the field. He was never the strongest on the field, but he caught every ball that went to his way, and he never went down on first contact. I think that's something this team needs, okay? I don't know how expensive he'd be. That's the only thing that would give me a little bit of pause. But, man, if you get him for a good price, I would take Jauan Jennings. He feels like he fits Baltimore. Fire Harbaugh 8 says, how would you feel if we drafted who is that? Jacoby Lane in the second round. I don't think I'd be that upset about it. Like, there's guys that I would have more eyes on in the second round of the draft. I think there's better targets you could have in the second round of the draft. But if you landed Jacoby Lane, I think that's something that would be exciting. I really, really do. That's a great question. Cannot wait to get more into draft coverage the closer we get to there. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you guys got me followed on socials, Twitter, Instagram, at Joey Petersen on both platforms. Make sure you subscribe to the channel down below, youtube.com/RavensTV. Daily content, all 100% free, only on your Baltimore Ravens.